Hello. We are trying this again a different way. So, is anyone joining me? And am I actually on anywhere? Since I don't see anyone at all, but we will wait and we will try for a few minutes. I'm just going live straight on YouTube. And hello, come join me. It says there's one person there. Hello, Judy. I hope that you can see me and hear me. Let me know so I can tell because I'm not exactly sure. All I see is your good morning. Hello, hello, says Tracy. I see and hear you just fine. Okay, so I decided to just go on regular instead of going through Zoom and see how that would work. So we will give it a little time, see if anybody actually finds out that I am here. There is Sandra. Good morning to you. Good morning, Tracy. Thank you for finding me and popping back on. It's like I turned everything totally off, back on, and it was still doing the same thing. So I don't know. It's something in Zoom, evidently. I know they made some changes and we'll have to figure that out. But anyway, I'm glad that I was able to go on this way. Just don't have any of the cameras. So what you can see here is what we will be dealing with this morning while I continue to work on brain fog here in a little bit. What an appropriate name for this morning's live, right? Brain fog, except I don't think it has anything to do with the brain, but there's a fog somewhere hanging over mine to go live this morning. But yeah, if I could quickly message a few people, I'd let them know that I am here. But like I said, we'll give it a little bit. Maybe some others will come and pop on. But as you know, I have been working on brain fog, and I have been doing that so that you can all follow along on that process with me, see how I go about designing a quilt and taking you along on that journey of brain fog every step of the way. And Tracy says that she's on antibiotics and falling asleep again. I'll be back next time. Okay, no problems, Tracy. And I hope you get better soon. But thank you. Let me see. Yeah, it was just Tracy giving the thumbs up. But I do have the one section which it's hard to see with working on black. With that on black, I see, but we have the first vertical row sewn because of the way that I'm doing it. I had to do that in by starting to put the rows together, at least the first three vertical, and then I may go back to trying to put them together horizontal instead because that's sure a lot easier. But because of the flying geese units in there that I wanted to attach third row in the middle of the quilt, I had to do that vertically. But welcome, Rob, Quilting in the Man Cave. Thank you for popping back on with me. And look at there, Lynn is there with us this morning. Yay, yay. Yes, Danielle, I decided, okay, forget Zoom. I think the problem is in through that. Decided to go just real quickly, set it back up enough to just be able to go live on regular YouTube. So I don't have any additional cameras with me this morning while I am doing this, but yeah, it's better than not doing it at all. So I again apologize for everything that went wrong while I was doing this, but yeah. And if you have a chance, Danielle, if you could pop in a quick message in either the friends chat or, you know, I am back on. Thank you. I would appreciate that. But yeah, it's Yeah, I don't know what happened to my morning, but hopefully the afternoon is going to be better. And from here on, from this point, it will be better. But Danielle says, no worries, Mama, as long as we can see your beautiful smile. Oh, stop, Danielle. Stop, stop, stop. And Eva is here this morning also. Welcome, Eva. She is also one of my channel members and supporters. She always calls me Elsa Jean. And everyone, how you doing? Someday you got to tell, you have to let me, I don't know the meaning behind the Elsa Jean. So you're going to have to let me in on that story, Eva. I just know that you always put it that way. So, and Rob is saying hello to Danielle. Okay, so I do have a row 1 and row 2 fastened here and ready to start stitching together. So I am going to work on that very quickly first before we go into some of the other detail. I'm going to move that, whoops, off my pressing mat so I will be able to use that. I was going to say I should try. We'll set that. If I set it over there, you can't see it there either. Right there you can, which I'm just pulling from this stack, and I'm going to try and make sure that I pull them correctly. And Michelle is here from Michelle's Crafts and More. And Katie is here. Welcome, welcome. Yeah, it sounds great now because I just decided to forget Zoom and I went on regular YouTube. Haven't gone this way for so long. It took me a little bit of thinking on how do I just go regular? I'm not normal. I can't do things regular, but I did figure it out. So, and Leanne from Pastry Queen's Farm Adventures is lurking. Hello and welcome to you. And thank you, Mike, for popping back on and finding me again. Danielle, thank you for letting him know. Awesome. Appreciate that because I'm pretty sure a notification did not go out by doing it this way. So I am going to start sewing the other 2 rows that get connected onto the section that I have hanging over here on the design wall. And then we will discuss a little bit more about what the next process. Oh, and my sewing machine because this doesn't have the noise cancellation on it, so I apologize. But I'll try not to go too fast so it doesn't make too much noise. And remember not to try talking while I'm sewing there. But this is row number 1, so I know that I need to press my seams to the top of the row so that when I do the other, they will all butt up and line up correctly. I'm going to put my row 1 marker on there so I remember that this is the top and we don't get that mixed up as we add all the rest of these on there. I think there's 12 blocks in each row down, and I'm sewing it vertically right now until I get past the 3rd row, and then I can start adding them on horizontally instead, which goes a lot quicker. And we'll put the pedal to the metal to try and make up for lost time here. What a mess and situation that was. But hey, when they're so trying to see if there's anyone else that I've missed that is popping on. Yeah, Danielle's trying to work and do this at the same time. So don't worry about it, Danielle. We will catch things on the sly without you there. I was on one of your lives and it was cold outside and you mentioned the Frozen movie movie about the weather outside. Okay, so Elsa Jean just pop in my head, so it's done. Now I know. Okay, thank you for explaining that, Eva. Good morning, Debbie. It is great to see you. Debbie is also one of the channel supporters, a member of Stitching Friends, as is Mike, a New York beauty, of course. And of course, Danielle also is on the ones that are here again this morning that found me. And Rob is down in sunny, who is quilting in the man cave, is down in sunny Florida, if I remember that correctly. Sometimes I remember things, sometimes I get them messed up. And I see that Joe from A Vintage Style by Joe found me again. I am so sorry. I have to remember when I get off here to go back and delete those others so they're not on there. Don't like to leave things that weren't working up, but I will do that after I am finished here. So I do have these rows prepared that I showed from what we started working on last week, and then also showed in the week review that I had these ready to go. So that is what I am doing very quickly this morning so that we can go on with some more of the design process and share that with you. So, oops. Helps if you leave the presser. Raise the presser foot to get your fabric out from underneath there. Doesn't like to come when it's still down. But so this background, I will hold this row up when I get done with it, and you will see that it is a mismatch of solid blocks, some 9-patch blocks, and some strip blocks. Because as you know, when you are in a brain fog, you can't keep your mind on what you're doing. So things may get, mixed up and not what you intended because you went off on another, who knows? So that's kind of the idea behind the styling of brain fog. It's like, who knows what we were creating while we were staring into space? Oh. Yeah, you should have made this a round quilt. That would have been something different, wouldn't it? Oh. Sorry for the silence. I'm trying to remember not to talk while I'm sewing because I know that the noise cancellation is not on now. So you probably wouldn't hear me over the machine. And hello, Yochana. It is great to see you. And Jim is here with us this morning. Welcome to you. It is great to see you again. And Leanne says, I am at a rest stop on my way to the next sewing adventure. I want to say hi to the chat. I won't be chatting as I'm about ready to get back onto the highway, but I will be lurking. Okay, well, if you're driving, don't be lurking too much either, Leanne. Don't want anything to happen, but thank you for popping in. Yes, drive safely and have an awesome trip and an awesome time with all your sewing adventures along the way. That sounds like fun. Sounds like a lot of fun. I think I need one of those again soon. I'll have to see what I can come up with. Oh. I wonder how you could do a live online shop hop. Wouldn't that be interesting? That you take a group of friends with you and you go on a live online shop hop somehow? have to research that. See what I can come up with. See who enables the others the most. I think I know who that would be. Anyone else have any ideas on who they think the great enabler may be? We'll see if anybody thinks the same as me. Who does the buying for? Yeah, we'd have to figure that one out, wouldn't we, Mike? That could be rather interesting. Oh, maybe we'd have a pool to pull from and it all gets divided afterwards. It's like throw it in the pot and see what they have and take a number and pull from the pot. I don't know. I'm just thinking on the fly here. But who's ever the last one in line? That's it. At the shop. That would be who would be paying for the chap. So don't dilly-daddle. Will be haven't used that phrase for a while. But yeah, it could be quite funny. I like that. Danielle told Mike that it is time for him to go chop away the ice from his card so he could use for the rest of us. So basically, beginning the bill at a restaurant. Okay. Yeah, we have to eat too, don't we? Oh, that's funny. Sometimes maybe I shouldn't speak my thoughts out loud right away and think them over a little more first. But at least I got you going on something different here this morning. But you never know with me what may become of that idea. Could always do something in a way of pre-purchasing gift cards or something. I don't know how we would do that. It would be very interesting. So basically getting the bill at the restaurant. Okay, exactly. No worries. I'll take it easy on you, Danielle. She says, yeah, so you say now, until all the purple batiks start showing up. And of course, Mike runs into more fairy frost. I always like to get the minds going, Mike. You know that. Wouldn't be fun if we didn't. Okay. So as you see, these all end up being a completely, totally, see, there we have a pieced stripe one instead, some of the plain ones, and then we have the 9-patch blocks thrown in. But this is actually row number 1. Just scooch this one over a little. And this one is going to be going over here. So we'll plop that there. And then we can do row number 2 that's going in the middle of that. Looks like I'm stitching it together a little awkwardly, doesn't it? But There was a plan for why it was done that way. Had to get all the flying geese that were made onto that row 3 before the rest could be stitched onto them. And Mary is here this morning. Good morning to you, Mary. It is great to see you. We've had quite the I think we all want some shopping therapy, and we're trying to figure out how to do it through an online shop hop, but with more than just, ourselves. It being, just like you're going with friends. I have to make sure I didn't turn that. Okay, that's the top. Oh, I don't want to end up sewing my blocks the wrong way. And this time, so that my seams will nest together when I sew them, I need to press these, and I'm just going to finger press them for now. I'm going to press those so they're all going down, since the others were going up as I add these on. And then like I said, when we get through this point, then I'll be able to show what some of my next thoughts are and ideas. There's going to be several different stitching methods used on this quilt. Should turn out quite interesting in the end, especially when you have skunks on your quilt. Woo! We gave them a beautiful bath before adding them to the quilt. Don't want any smells on my quilt. And of course, now I'm going to get all those notifications popping up in the way of the chat. And Mary says that it reminds me of a neighbor I had growing up. We called her Mama Hill. She lived to 104. I miss her. Oh, Jean reminds me. I remind you of a neighbor that you had, Mary? Is that what you're saying? I hope, I need to live to be 104 so I can get a lot of my works in progress accomplished while I'm still on this earth. Because the Lord knows I have enough of them, right? Yes, okay. Well, let me just say, Mary, that your neighbor must have been a really wonderful and amazing woman. Wish I could have met her. What state would that be in, Mary? She was. Okay, awesome. I think a couple of you know what I'm going to be doing when this live ends. Because when my mind sets off in a direction, it has to go that way for a while to see if I can actually figure out a way to do what popped in my mind. Oh, can't tell you what just popped in my mind because I think I may have figured out a way to do something similar but a little different. She was from New York, but we lived in Florida. Okay. Well, I have never lived in Florida. I've never been to New York. I have been to Florida, I think, Let me think. I think I've been to Florida three, three different times. Once, way back when I was still in the military, I went on leave and I went to Florida for the Daytona 500. Camped out in the infield. That was that was good times way back then. And then my parents lived there for a while after they retired. They thought they'd check it out, but they ended back in Minnesota. They did not stay there. And then I don't remember exactly what the other time was. But I know there was another time. I just can't recall why I was there the other time. Now, some way, somehow, I may make it to New York someday. We shall see. Ooh, Danielle's phone is at 39%. Just had to plug it in. Yeah. I went to put my watch on this morning and it wouldn't turn on. I'm going, why won't it turn on? Well, somehow, even with it being on the charger, it did not charge. It was at 0. So, having to let it charge. I think somebody should have come up with the technology that you don't need to charge them anymore. It should do it by the waves all going out there magically. Just like me, I don't have to charge my batteries. I'm the Energizer battery. I have one that never needs charging. I'm always go, 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 go. Never run out. And I look up and there's Debbie right there in the chat to say, yeah. Yeah, that's what I said. I went to, well, I didn't go. Daytona is actually where my parents lived in that area, which that's when I already said that I went to visit them. So that was the time that I mentioned that I went to see my parents when they lived there. They lived outside of Daytona. And I went to Daytona, yes, for the Daytona 500, which is what I mentioned first. And so it's the third time I was there that I can't remember why I was there or what I was doing. But yeah, I already mentioned that one. Jean in New York. Lock the fashion district. Oh, that could be very, very, very interesting. I can think of a couple challenges that I could come up with myself if I were in New York in the fashion district, and a couple challengers for a way to create a couple things. That could be quite fun and interesting. Mike could be my tour guide to get me around from place to place. My tour guide and bodyguard at the same time. You'd probably find me hiding it behind and hanging on to every lamppost and street post along the way. Scared to death. Yeah. Oh. Debbie says 2 yards of this and 3 yards of that. LOL. Oh no, it would be a lot more than that, Debbie, for what I was thinking. They sell a little different kind of fabric in the fashion district than what we're used to in quilting. So it might be a bolt of this and a bolt of that. Oh, yeah, that could be quite interesting. I think that was the last block on this row. Yep, pressing down. Had to remind myself my pressing direction there. Okay, so we have this one complete. So now I am going to be able to sew those 3 rows together, and then we'll be able to start on the horizontal rows to complete the background. But I'm not going to do that because I'm going to go on and I'm going to describe what some of the other process will be, because in all of the time that I've wasted, we're coming close to the time I should be ending. I will probably go over just a little bit because of all the mix up in the beginning trying to get going. But, and Mike says, I sure would. I got the muscle, Gene. Okay, awesome. And Judy says, New York is on my bucket list. I would definitely need a personal tour guide. Yeah, I think we all would. And Mike says, I'm always available to take anyone shopping. It is fun to also take others shopping and see what you can do for them on their dollar instead of yours. But this one will come, oops, as I step on it, it's rather long. Will come right up there, and those are all going to be sewn together that way. And I am going to pull the other section over here because I want to let you in on some of the other design ideas that I have for when, I don't know how well that's going to show up, but that's the background, except you see the flying geese aren't on there because that was a design change as I was figuring out what I wanted to do with brain fog. So that is why on this 3rd row right here, I had to eliminate, oops, as my finger is going the wrong direction, I had to eliminate those blocks and add on of the flying geese ones that are all paper pieced in there instead. And then hopefully I won't have to change any more of the background back layout, but there are some ideas that I have. We're going to be bold here and show you this photo that I just took this morning. That is so pretty. Black and white. Danielle is saying that is so pretty. Hopefully it will be, but ooh, you're seeing part of this. But I am going to be doing, like I said, several different types of stitching on top of that background with the ideas that I have for brain fog. One of them is going to be, as you can see, I'll show my scribbles here first. As I go along, I make really, really bad scribbles of ideas that I have. And that's that. And then I figure out a way to make them happen. So there is going to be a portrait collage that will be done somewhere kind of center, bottom, whatever, of the background. So there is this picture that is printed on freezer paper so that I will be able to cut it up and I will be able to, in some shape, way, form, do a fabric collage of that, which is, you know, me sitting there in the brain fog. But there's going to be a few changes made to that with, you know, maybe some kind of embroidery and stitching ideas that will be thrown into that to add some interest into that portrait collage that will be on the brain fog quilt. So what do you all think of that idea and that direction? So that should be fun. Yes. Yes. So might have to, I'm hoping that that's going to be large enough. I really don't want to blow myself up. But what I used to print that on is this inkjet freezable, printable freezer paper. I use that quite often for things. It makes life a whole lot easier than having to trace. So I just took the picture, printed it out from my computer onto the printer using the inkjet freezer paper that is already set to go. Very adventurous, says Shady Susan from Sewing Sensations, which just popped in. Thank you for joining me this morning. Had a few problems with, yeah, something in Zoom's audio was not working this morning. But then I also have the light steam 2 that you can actually also put through your printer and print on if you want. So I will be combining use of both of those processes to do some of the collage work on there. And then we have to have some other random things thrown on. You've been here, you were just not chatting much. All right. Well, until you chat, I don't know you're here, but thank you for being here, Susan. So I showed you that I do have some of the charm squares left, which will also be going into part of that portrait collage. So I can't do everything until I figure out what I need to be used in certain areas. But I am going to be throwing on some random parts of blocks on the background in either an applique process or a fusible process, or who knows what I may come up with. But one of the things that I'm going to do is I am going to be putting some hexagons randomly scattered about. And I don't know if you can see, but the butterflies on here actually have eyes. So I am going to make sure that when I do my hexagon, that I have that fussy cut so that the eyes are showing up in the center of that hexagon. And those will be appliqued on there. And then, of course, what quilt entitled A Brain Fog, designed by me, would be complete without some pink squirrels on it. I just happen to have some of the Tula Pink Beasties fabric that has the pink squirrels, and I will be also fussy cutting the hexagons so that the squirrel ends up in the middle of the hexagon also, and those will be scattered about so that there will be pink squirrels on the brain fog quilt. So those are some of the initial ideas that I'm coming up with that will be going on the background of this quilt as I sew along. And thank you, Tracy. I see that you just became a member of the Stitching Friends. Welcome, welcome. Make sure that you send me your email so that I can get you all the information to join the groups that are involved in the Stitching Friends. Thank you very much. I hope you will have a great time joining us. We have a lot of fun. And Joyce is here this morning. Welcome, welcome. She says, hey, Jean and everyone, kind of late. Yeah, I was kind of late too. I was here on time, but had a terrible echo that was coming somewhere from Zoom. I decided not finally to just pop out of Zoom, just go on live YouTube the regular way so that I could at least still do today's live instead of not doing it at all, and don't have a problem with the sound at all. So that leads me to believe it is something in Zoom today that just is not working correctly through their system that was causing that, because I changed nothing. But anyway, so those are the next steps that I will be doing for the brain fog quilt. And we'll get those cut out, ready to go, and we'll show part of that process on the next time that I include working on the brain fog in one of my lives, either on a Wednesday or a Friday. No, I don't have gremlins. It's no, I never call it gremlins. It's just, yeah. I think Zoom itself was having an issue, which, you know, everything has technical issues at some point in time. But yeah, no, just something on their end that wasn't working correctly this morning. So I found a way around it and decided to just go the regular old way on through YouTube without any streaming software this morning to be able to come up with you. But I was trying to duplicate myself to get more things done this morning. Yeah, if only it was that it wasn't my voice that was being duplicated instead, right, Danielle? And, and Tracy says, I love your channel, Jean. I've just been a little busy later. I will be back soon. Yes, I know you have. And it's great to see that you are slowly getting back, Tracy. We all love you and have missed seeing you. So, yeah, prayers still go out to you. Joyce, her pink squirrels were being bad this morning. I think they were, yeah, somebody was in overnight. And we're in the stitching cottage, I think, maybe played with something, which it may have something to do with. There was a couple things on that I did not want to lose last night. So I did not shut my laptop off because I didn't want to lose those tabs and have to figure out where I was that I got to them. Yeah. Talk about technically challenged. But so I left my laptop on last night. I don't know if that had anything to do with it, but because I always shut it down in the evening when I go in, and last night I did not. So maybe I won't do that again. Just saying. But lately, I got you there, Tracy. Only if multiplicity was real. Yes. Wouldn't that be awesome? Except I couldn't fit us all out here. with everything that's going on, if there was another one of me to work out here, we probably wouldn't get much done because we'd be running into each other. But too much fabric, too many projects. Yeah. The one person would have to sit down there and just keep sewing, and I just have to keep feeding them. That would work. But see, we come up with some great ideas every once in a while. But I think that is everything that I have for you this morning. It was great. I'm very appreciative for those of you that did come back and find me third time's a charm. So, and again, I appreciate for those problems that came on. I just wasn't sure whether it was just on my end, and without going on and finding out, I had no way of knowing. And of course, it wasn't just on my end. So, but anyway, I think I have caught everyone. So this time, in saying goodbye, glad I made it. I didn't participate much, but I was here. Okay, Lynn. Awesome, awesome. I know you always catch the replays though and always comment. So you are always there, whether it's live or not. And Terry says, I have been back and listening. Have a good one, Jean and Chatters. Thank you. And Yochana says, thank you. I am so happy I finally made a live. Loving the brain fog quilt. Thank you, Yochana. I am loving it too. It's an awesome, awesome process. So I think when we get into some of the other ones that I just showed with the collage and everything, you're going to have a great time watching that and maybe learning some tips along the way on that also. So this time, I'm really leaving. Don't look for me again today. Not on live anyway. And I will say have a very, very happy weekend. Have a safe 4th of July weekend. Please do not get hurt. Stay away from dangerous fireworks as best you can, but have an awesome time. If you're grilling out, eat something good for me. And remember, as always, in the meantime, I can keep you in stitches. Bye-bye, everyone.